What's up, everybody? My name is Dan Trematozzi. This is Jared Ferreira, and we are Terra Grappler. And we want to take some time to introduce you to the brand, what it is, what it stands for, what we're going to be releasing in the next month or two, and down the road as well. But really, what we're doing is creating a wrestling shoe, and we'll let you know some insights about it and how it differentiates from the shoes that you're normally putting on your foot right now. And I think the first place that we're going to start is our Terra GRAPPL'R Premier, which will be the first shoe that we're launching, which is a shoe that we've been designing for over a year now and testing. And I have Jared Ferreira here. He's our lead designer, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the shoe and what you can expect with it. So
Obviously,
Jared?
Dan, I don't have to do much talking about these shoes.
No, you don't.
Once people see them, they fall in love with them, right?
Yeah.
It's love at first sight with these, because at Terra GRAPPL'R, first and foremost, we lead with design, all right? And then obviously we go into the innovation and everything. But for a shoe to sell and for a shoe to look good on people, it has to be designed well. The aesthetics have to be pleasing,
Sure.
and they got to pop.
Yeah.
But obviously people see what they see with these things, and that's what stops them in their track at events.
So what's the first thing that people see I know we've been to a lot of events, and what's the first thing that people see when they see this shoe on the table?
Yeah, they see something completely different, a totally different shape from a wrestling shoe, and then once they start feeling it, they have a lot of questions. So obviously that first thing that catches people's attention is the inner sock, and we call this a Mataform knit layer. All right, and this goes from the top of the shoe all the way down to the toes. Very, very high density. It's not going to stretch out over time. Super breathable. It'll dry very quickly. That's very big in wrestling. Shoes that sit overnight, we need them to dry out properly. But at the same time, it's going to give you support from the tip of your toes all the way to the top of your ankles. So that is very key in this, and it's a groundbreaking move for any wrestling shoe on the planet.
So what about the sole? Is the sole completely custom? How does that work out?
Absolutely, Dan. I actually sketched this sole one night. I was just, I couldn't even tell you the journey to get to the design of the sole. It looks simple, but the way we wanted it is we want it to be flexible both sideways and vertically. So you can see it's split down the middle and then segmented through different sections all throughout. And this is, I like to call this no slip grip, because if you put this up against any wrestling shoe and you if you rub your hand on it, you can tell how much more improved the grip is over any wrestling shoe. And the depth and the tread depth is about 1.3 millimeters. I mean, you guys won't notice that, people won't notice that, but that goes into every part of the design that we hit. Every 1/10 of 1 millimeter is considered weight for us, and we take every single gram and every single millimeter into play when designing these.
So talking about weight, if you compare this to, say, an Asics Aggressor shoe, how does it match up weight-wise?
Yeah, we're exactly aligned with the Asics Aggressor. I mean, I think the Asics Aggressor is probably one of the best-selling shoes in history. They do a lot of good things. I'm not going to give them free press or free publicity or any tips on how to make a wrestling shoe, but ours, weight-wise, is spot on with theirs, and that was a goal, and that's why it took us over a year and a half. If you look at other samples, they were coming in 1.5 ounces over our targeted weight. So
the first sample came in a little heavy. That was the first thing that I went to Jared about and said, hey, we put these on a scale. We took a 10.5, I think, Aggressor, and a 10.5 first sample of the Premier.
Absolutely.
And we were about 1.5 ounces over where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And with this second sample, or with this sample, we actually we hit it, and I believe we're below the Aggressor.
And while we're on weight, we want to keep everybody's attention, because we have something else we're going to show you that exceeds weight expectations.
Yes, definitely. What else about this shoe? I mean, I think the coolest part about it is definitely this sock material, and I put it on my foot. It's extremely
amazing,
comfortable.
Right?
It's so comfortable.
We've had world team members put it on for clinics, and out of their mouth, just like out of everyone else's mouth. Wrestlers, world team members, coaches, parents stop by, slip the shoe on, and they go, wow, this is awesome.
So we had the shoe down at Virginia Beach, and
it was the previous sample.
It was the first sample, and we got some great reactions, great feedback from it, but we encouraged everybody to put the shoe on, and when they did, we just really enjoyed watching their mouths drop, and it was like they couldn't believe the comfort of this shoe. And I think that was something that
I totally understand their reactions and slipping other wrestling shoes on. And it's the third point I like to talk about. First one was our Mataform. Second one was the no slip grip. And the third, guys, this is so important because if you're going to be in these shoes all day, they have to be comfortable. You're running around on gym floors in between matches. You're you're on concrete, you're up and down, you're in and out of the bleachers, in and out of the bathrooms and the locker rooms. You're walking on hard surfaces. So all day comfort is key in these. And the material that we chose in the outsole, midsole, and insole, lightweight, but also they give you the support for all day comfort.
Awesome. Okay. So how many colors are we coming out with?
Well, we have this one, the OG. It's the classic TG Premier. We also have a Sissy. This is cool. This is going to be an exclusive limited edition of these. This is kind of like a white, navy blue, and a very bright pink. Then we have the Joker. This is going to be a red, a super bright neon yellow, and some black. And also the bottoms will be like a smoked white gum color.
So those three are going to be releasing first, correct?
Yep.
So we'll go ahead and we'll let you know that the release date, the pre-order date for this, and this is the first time we're announcing it.
Yeah.
Pre-orders will open up on October 5th at 9 o'clock Eastern time on TerraGrappler.com. And what's cool is that if you go to the website right now, you can sign up to be the first to know about a pre-order release date. We're actually going to release a pre-order that's going to be a few days before the August 5th pre-order official release. And it's only going to go out to people that opt in on our site. And it's going to be about an hour long. And we're also going to give you a discount code for 10% off the first purchase. So you have the ability, you can go online, you sign up, you can get 10% off these shoes. You get first lick at it to make sure that you get them before they get sold out, and you get you get an exclusive offer, and you get access to buy it first, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, anyone who signs up, we're going to be extremely loyal to you guys. For putting up with us in the beginning in those emails, but we're going to be extremely loyal back to you guys. So the more you kind of go out and endorse Terra Grappler and use the product, we're going to give more back to people who do that.
Yeah, right now we just gave away a pair of socks. We're giving away hats.
We're going to give away a hat.
I think we're going to give away some snapbacks.
Absolutely.
So we really want to make this a really fun brand, and for us, it's just a fun journey to be on to build a brand from scratch and do something that we love to do. And I think it's as much as we can give back. I think that's the ultimate goal. So why don't we talk about the last last colorway?
So the last one here, we're still messing around with some kind of interactive ways to get people involved so they can get their hands on these. They're not going to be easy to get their hands on, but these are the Terra Grappler Premier Googler editions.
Wow.
And we've probably got the biggest hype from these out of all of them.
Yeah,
and these are going to be a very limited edition. There's going to be a numbered amount. So when you get your shoebox with these shoes, there's going to be a hologram along with your number and how many were totally available. So we know the after shoe market for wrestling is big. Kids like to keep them in pristine condition, trade them, use them, kind of almost invest in them over the years and sell them for more one day. So we think that authenticity with the hologram and everything is going to be a new twist on these. So.
I think I could totally see these as collector items too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I would definitely wear them, but to be able to collect all four is kind of unique, and I don't think a lot of people will be able to do it.
You know what's funny? We have, outside of wrestlers, we have world-class weightlifters coming to us saying, hey, for a leg day, I want to get a pair of your Terra Grappler Premiers, which is weird. And they say, hey, I want the Googlers though. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you got to wait
for some reason, I think there's just, it's such a unique design that we haven't seen before. You're bringing technology into a shoe, and there's a lot of technology that went into the design of this shoe to do a edition with Google colors is pretty cool. Let's talk about real quick the logo, and we'll give some feedback on the nonprofit that we started 9 years ago.
Before we transition into the next part.
So let me take it real quick. For some of you that don't know, we started a nonprofit called Pin Cancer about 8 years ago. Fast forward 8 years, it's been, we've raised, I think, over 1.5 million. Our funds go to St. Jude. We're in the process of partnering with USA Wrestling, NWCA, and we've just seen so many cool teams get on board throughout the country, and it's been a really unique journey, I would say, up until this point. So we were actually purchasing gear from other wrestling gear manufacturers, and we said, can we do this ourselves? And we did, and then we morphed it into doing shoes. So we actually are putting the Pin Cancer logo on every single shoe, and you'll see it. It's right here on the side. It's actually on the sole of this Premier as well. And what's cool about it is that we're donating 10% of all the proceeds back to Pink Cancer. So it's another arm, it's another fundraising arm that we've created to raise more funds for the nonprofit that we started 8 years ago. That's been, seeing great success, and the amount of, support that we see from the wrestling community, from coaches to wrestlers to, parents, especially parents. They're usually the ones behind kids' fundraising pages. So this was an idea of how can we not just make a shoe brand and do something on the side, but how do we tie Pink Cancer into it? And right away we said, let's use the logo and tell our brand audience and tell all you that every time you do see the Pink Cancer logo here, that 10% is being donated back directly to Pink Cancer.
Cool stuff, guys. And this logo that you're going to see on the Terra Grappler products, it's a very powerful logo in the sport of wrestling. To me and to a lot of people, it's wrestling's best logo, hands down. There's people that come up to us and goes, "Yo, it resembles Michael Jordan." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. We appreciate that. I mean, the Jordan brand has a super powerful reputation, but wrestlers are so much more badass than basketball players. Come on."
That's true. That's true. Our motto is the world's toughest sport is taking on the world's toughest opponent, right? So
yeah, that's it.
Let's jump into the next shoe.
Yeah, guys, this one's special. Like I said before, we were talking about weight, and for a wrestler to be just super dominant, they need a light shoe, something super responsive. So we, after we kind of got the premier samples in, we understood the anatomy of a shoe a whole lot better. Met with manufacturers, talked to manufacturers, looked at sample fabrics, just did our research, and we came up with this next shoe, the Terra GRAPPL'R Matador, and we have them right here.
That's a cool logo.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys see the bull logo there and the bull's eye. So there's a whole story behind this. Before I dive into what makes the Matador special, let's talk about design, because we always lead with design, right? So on the bottom here, first off, we got the Matador logo on the bottom, right? So it's going to give us two unique areas of sole support
that is very
across the back and the front. The front and the back, the heel and the forefoot, I should say. All right, and then in between each logo, we have bullseyes that act as the pivot points. When you're on the mat, you have to be able to pivot effectively. And then if you turn it on its side, if I can go back to the next slide here, you kind of see like our branding.
Yeah, I mean, these are, when I remember seeing the first mock-up that you did with these, and to see them in person the way they are, to reflect almost the exact mock-up that you put on here is really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have them in gold and silver, and they're probably going to come in a kind of like an ice, like a chrome blue almost. Okay, so we're sticking with the metal collection, and it's pretty much going to be referred to as the Matador metal collection, because there might be some Matadors down the line, and might be some other cool colors. But you kind of see here our marketing message here is a Matador, and what better name in a wrestling shoe than Matador?
Why?
It's got the word mat in it. What the heck? Why not? But if you think about what a Matador does and how they go face to face with the bull in an arena, I think it's just a really good message.
It's like it's like two wrestlers. They're one-on-one on the mat.
So what I was saying before my clicker went haywire. We got the logos on each side of the shoe, and then if you turn it on its side, you see bullseyes kind of looking at you right now, just like the way our logo is back there. So
wow.
I was digging deep that day. That day when I was designing these,
cool.
I was digging deep.
Take a look at that.
I was like 8 coffees deep in my kitchen just sketching. And things hit you at the weirdest times as a designer. Anyone who designs knows that kind of stuff. But like I said, we got the gold, we got silver. It's kind of like a chrome. It's a little more bright than silver. So
very cool. Very cool coloring.
Yep. And then the ice blue color we'll have soon as well. So these also include the Mataform knit layer. It's a little different composition than the Premiers, and the best thing about these is that they're the lightest shoe in its class, guys. This right here we're holding right now is an 11.5, and it's light as a feather. It's a little lighter than the Premiers and a lot lighter than other wrestling shoes in its class.
So what would you, if you had to compare this shoe with a shoe that's out there now, what would it be like? Like, would it be, because everyone has, I would say, almost like a favorite shoe brand. When I was growing up competing, I was an Asics guy.
Yeah.
Wrestling at Bloom, we were sponsored by Asics. So You know, I remember having the Rulons, the first gold and maroon Rulons that came out, which you don't see anymore. I wasn't a huge fan of Adidas or Nike, but I would say these resemble an Adidas maybe a little bit more. I would say, but I almost want to say it's like a combination of all of them. Yeah,
Dan, you know, people are going to have their opinions, and it's a very dynamic fit. It's going to fit everybody. It's going to fit just about everybody well. So I should say one thing: when I design shoes, I don't put myself and indulge myself in yesterday's shoes. They're yesterday's news. This is today's news, guys. This is not compared to any other shoe that we design. You know, we embarked on this for a reason. This is groundbreaking, especially the Mataform. What we're doing with the soles, what we're doing with the comfort and the stability. This is all new. It's going to change the wrestling shoe game, hands down. I'll go all in on that and say that it will. And we're going all in on it and say that it will. Once you slip these on, you're not going to want another shoe. You're going to want a Mataform knit layer because you're going to love the way it feels. And the sport of soccer has converted to that years ago, and people do not convert back once they go to this kind of composition.
That's interesting to hear. No, I put these shoes on and instantly they became my favorite shoe. And I'm not just saying that. Yeah. They are so comfortable, and the design in them, just the small detail is really cool to see, and you can really only see it in person, but you know, where the logo is in the stitching, and even where Jared included the logo in the sole itself, not even this part, but the actual sole right here is something that's, you know, you really have to be looking at that stuff to see the detail.
I mean, you can see how the Matador logo kind of repeats itself from the transition from the metallic color to the black. And then also, I mean, the one thing I like to talk about here, is what we use in the front here. Usually wrestling shoes are suede in the front. There's a very few that aren't. And a brand new pair of shoes could look so old, dirty, and dingy after one use because of the material that they use. And we don't use that material. These shoes are going to look newer, longer, guys. Make no mistake about it, just because of the material we're using in the front.
There's a good look at it right there. So what else? What else do you want to talk about with these shoes? I think you guys hit a lot of points.
Yeah, no, I think the last thing we need to talk about is when these are going to be released. Okay. You know, we're going to try. We don't have a firm date on this shoe yet. We're going to try for a very near Christmas release, a before Christmas release, so you guys can kind of you know, get some new presents under the tree, and parents, you know, have something to buy for their kids, for their young wrestlers. So the only way to know is to stay tuned, sign up for our newsletter on our website that will keep you informed. And again, we're going to be tossing deals out. We'll probably give a few shoes away of these. And
possibly.
We're going to be talking to some, pretty well-known people in the wrestling world that are hopefully going to wear these soon, and you'll see them on them. There's a lot of interest, guys. There's a super lot of interest.
Definitely, and we're excited to get it out. We just want to get them out now, and but we don't want to rush it. This has been a year in the making, a little bit over a year, and we weren't satisfied with all the samples, and now I think we've come to 2 sets of shoes that are about 100%, and it's really exciting that it's finally here. To be honest,
absolutely.
It's been a lot of work and a lot of time put into it. So stay tuned. Go to TerraGrappler.com. When you go to TerraGrappler.com, a pop-up will automatically pop up, or it should. You can enter your information in there, put in your name and your email, give us your information, and we will email you right away, welcome you to the Terra Grappler team, and you'll get incentives. You'll get 10% off first purchase for the premieres, as well as you'll be the first to know about the pre-order release date, which is going to be only an hour long, but it's going to be before we release on October 5th. So stay tuned for more Terra Grappler.